to this all being coordinated. I said, you know what, Lord, I'm ready. If you're ready, I'm ready. No matter the light sensitivity, if I get cuts, whatever, you're going to take care of me. And I believe that you won't allow that to happen. But I'm ready if you're ready. I was up at altar call, praying, and the Lord spoke to my heart and said, look up. So I looked up and I saw me and him here, the Lord here, standing here. He said, you're going to be up there soon. And I said, okay, Lord, if that's what you want. And he goes, no, seriously, you're going to be up there soon sharing me. And I'm like, okay, if this is from you, then Lord, make it happen. You open the doors. 30 minutes later, I was speaking to my dear friend Tomasa, and she said, you know, Mimi, we got to get you up there and sharing your story. 30 minutes after the Lord said that. So I'm not saying it'll take a week, and that was only a week after I prayed that prayer. It may not be a week after you pray it, maybe years, it may be a day, but you got to open the door for the Lord. You got to shut the door on the enemy and say, you know what, I don't care. And you got to do it. If you're afraid, don't say, I'm going to start doing it when the fear goes. No, do it afraid. Because the thing is the enemy is afraid of you. Because he knows what you're going to do for God if you really let the Lord in. So just let God in.
And that's powerful. Anybody have a question for Mimi up here? Anybody? Anybody have a question? Don't all raise your hands at once. Okay. Yes, what's your question?
I just wanted to say that Mimi did affect our lives. When she was 2, she was Mimi's roommate. They've kept up a relationship for a long time, but my daughter had brain surgery at that time. And that's when we met Mimi. They thought she had fibromyalgia. And I just wanted to say she's been a blessing in our lives ever since. And
You've been a blessing too. I love you guys.
That's powerful. And see, that's how the Lord works. He'll just continue to use you and use you and use you. Amen. Any other questions? Any other questions at all? Yes.
I think what Mimi should also...
We're going to give you a mic so everyone can hear your question.
I think what Mimi should also address is all the hospital stays that she's had and all the pain during all that time, the faith that she has had. So why don't you kind of say some of the things while you're in, how many stays you've been and how much pain you've been in, and you still love the Lord.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many hospital stays, but one of them was from the, actually this hospital stay was actually the toughest, to be completely honest with you. I was severe, I had a 105.6 fever for multiple days, and they thought it was another infection in the line, and they replaced the line, and they didn't, they couldn't figure out what it was, because the fever wouldn't go. So they took I kept telling them I couldn't breathe. They wouldn't listen. They finally did. They did an x-ray, tumors covering my lungs. And so they went in, said, we'll be 100% sure, we'll find out what's wrong with you if we do the surgery. But the thing is, you have a 70% chance you won't make it. But you have a 70% chance if you do the surgery or not. So I said, all right, I prayed, and I said, okay, God, I might as well go fighting. So I did it, and what it is they took a hole, they actually made a hole in my lung, and deflated my left lung, my right lung, and I was in ICU. That was the toughest time, and I was just crying out to God, and God really, if you let God through the toughest times, work through you, He's gonna bless you, and He's gonna bless other people. Yeah, that's the one. But even though I see that picture, I don't remember that pain. When I look at that picture, I remember the blessings that came out of it. Because the guy that removed the tubes, kind of coach-like, kind of arrogant, to be honest. And be honest. Hey, we're the Lord's customer now.
Kick his butt, the tick's butt.
Exactly. He came in and didn't numb it. I had this tattoo, about $50 around in my chest, and nothing to numb it. Just came and yanked it out of me, and I was screaming. It was so painful. They were supposed to numb me. But anyways, at the end, he kept to say, I'm so sorry that I hurt you so much. And I said, I know you were just trying to help me. Thank you, and God bless you. He turned and he gave me this stare, and he just goes, he shook his head and he goes, yeah, and he just left. My dad comforted me and helped me get the pain under control, and he left to call my mom, because only one person can be in ICU with you. And my dad came back saying that the guy stopped him. When he came back and he said, Mr. Alverez, you know, I've been doing this for 20 years, so many years. He goes, this is all I do every day is remove these intercostal drain tubes, and it's excruciating, I'm telling you. And they were supposed to number before I came in. But I've been cursed at, I've been hit, I've had my life threatened because I've hurt, you know, by family members of the person. But I'm not once have I been told thank you. And not once have I been told God bless you. And he's doing that.
Wow.
That's how God can use your faith.
We got time for about 2 more questions and then some more closing comments from Amy, but any other questions real quick or comments on this situation? Any other questions? Real quick. We'll get to you next. Robert, what's your question?
Sister Mimi, I just want to tell you that, you know, I'm just very, very overwhelmed and blessed by your presence here. I'm an usher here, and I see you and your brother and your dad in the back. And when worship's on, they are hugging each other. They just will not let go of each other. And it's just such an encouragement to me, because, you know, to understand the fact that a lot of us take a lot of things for granted in life, and that we're not guaranteed tomorrow, but today is here. And I'm grateful that we have you here today. And I just want to tell you that we love you very much.
Mimi has been one of our, up here, Ben, while you're running up to...
We got one right here too.
Okay, let's do that one and then this one and this. But before she speaks, I just want to say this real quick and brief. Mimi's family has been faithful to Blast pretty much since the first month. So I want to thank you guys for that. Okay, what's your question?
My question is, how are you feeling today? Like, are you stronger than 4 years ago? Like,
I'm here.
and I don't know, I'm shy right now. I just had a question, like, I can't do it, never mind. I just wanted to say, God bless you, I'm happy you're here today.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have more. Okay, Ben, all right. Okay, we got one more question right here, and then we'll let Mimi close with her final comments, and then we'll move on.
Hi, Mimi. We know each other. I love you so much, and I'm so blessed by
Can
your
you talk a
testimony.
little louder? I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm so blessed by your testimony. I actually know Mimi. And my question to you is, how did, like, during all this in your life, how did you respond, and how was it when fear tried to grip you?
To be honest with you, there's been a few times that fears have tried to grip me. Like you said.
We got people in the back too, so we're just trying to keep the volume up.
Yeah. To be honest with you, when fear came in, the only thing I could do is just say, you know what, God, like Brother Robert said, tomorrow's not promised. So I just said, you know what, God, I'm going to trust you right now. And if I go home with you, what's to fear? I don't fear death anymore. I mean, you know, I'm not being morbid. I don't look forward to death. I want to serve the Lord as long as I can here. There's been many times I've been so close. But, you know, I just said, you know, God, I'm not going to let this fear take over me. Because why do I have anything to fear? If I'm going to die, I'm going home. So why am I fearing paradise, you know? And what's the worst that can happen to you? Is you die in this physical world. And that's not a bad thing. If you're with the Lord, that's not a bad thing. You're going home.
We got one more question. I can't say no to Brother Richard.
It's not really a question, but Mimi, you know I've been with your family from the very beginning. I worked with your dad for many years, and I can't even tell you how many times we prayed in the truck, how many times I've hugged your father. I mean, he's cried. he's felt your pain beyond. But I want you to know that, you know, Mimi, I appreciate your strength, but more than that, your father loves you so much, and you know that. But when you see a man, a grown man, worried, a grown man crying right before you, it's touching. And although your dad going through what he went through, worried about you and feeling the pain that you went through, Henry will never know how he strengthened me during that time, you know, when I was raising my 3 kids by myself, and seeing the very strength that he had for you made me very, very strong. And I thank you, Henry, for that. I don't know if you know that, but you've really helped me a lot. But the thing is this, Mimi, continue doing what you're doing. Let your light shine. Be very bold, you know, and may the anointing of God continue flowing through your life. And I'll always love you. God bless you.
So Mimi, that's a lot, you know, and we're very blessed to have you here. We thank you so much. You know, I know you touched a lot of lives right now also as well with your story. Any closing comments before we do the most important thing of the night? I just want to turn the last words over to you with everything that's been said.
So a couple of things. I don't know if any of you guys have seen me come in here with my dad and a very handsome young gentleman. None of them. Well, that's my brother, not my boyfriend. Many of you guys have said you thought that was my boyfriend. No, that's not my boyfriend. I'm single, so any of you 30-year-olds single ones at home, no, just kidding. That's not what this is about. This has been my boyfriend for the last 8 years. My